Well, good morning and welcome back to Balfour Farm. Today's a busy day. We've got just got done milking cows and we're just going back out to pasture at the moment. So yeah, we've got to grease and get all our haying equipment ready to go. In fact, there's the mower there. So got to grease the tractors, check all the oil, fluids, get all the equipment out. Need to pressure wash everything, clean it up, get it ready for the season. So usually have it done before now, but that's the way the year's been going. Everything's a little behind, so it hasn't been a big of a rush with the grass, but it's been slow growing, so it's not ready to cut for hay yet, but probably 2 more weeks. But here, I'll show you the cows going out. So we've been out this morning rototilling up the garden, get it tilled up. It's not just, it'll be our vegetable garden. And then also, let's see if you see it behind me there. There's, it's probably 1.5 acres or so. Gonna plant some corn for the cows, just a tiny bit. And it's something we're going to try this year. But yeah, I'm going to try some corn, some pumpkins, probably for the pigs also. We've grown turnips and beets in the past, so we're going to do more of that again this year. So, but I got to get the tiller off the tractor now so we can take it and wash the tractor up and move equipment around. So. All right, so we got the rototiller unhooked. We're gonna hook up the mower first. We'll wash that. I need to replace the blades, grease it up, check the oil, the belts, and yeah, we'll wash all the equipment, and then the tractors will be last. So they get dirty as we wash the equipment. So there's no point in cleaning the tractor first, but I'll get to it here. Get that all greased and then some. We'll find a spot to put this. Checking the oil in it. There's a gearbox with a plug here. And there's one on the side also for draining it. So this just got changed last year. That's looking really good. There's All right, so we just got to, there's 2 blades on each one of these hubs here. So they're reversible blades. So this side is the side that will cut because this one spins this way. And then the other one spins the opposite direction. So every one of them spinning just the opposite. But anyway, this is in pretty good shape. There's no chips in it, but we're gonna hit it with a grinder and then get that cleaned up. Look at that, I missed some dirt in there. Oh, that's irritating. We'll park this and I'll go get the next piece of equipment. I think we'll do the hay rake next. So. Washing the hay rake is the easy part. The tough part is getting it all greased up. So the rake is all washed up and greased up, ready to go. The only thing I have left to do now is I'll hook up the PTO shaft here, let it run for a minute just to make sure the grease get into all those joints. Sounds good. Didn't make any weird noises and no parts fell off it, so, which I would hope not, but shouldn't. It's a fairly new rake, but anyway, we'll park this now. There is a safety catch on this, so when you put it all the way up, there's a catch to, it won't release the cylinder and close the gate on me, so if that wasn't in place, you would not want to do this. If anything were to fail with the hydraulics, this would squish you for sure. All right, well that's it. The baler is clean, and I am not. Got more grease and dirt on me, and at least the equipment's clean. The baler, I'm gonna hold off on greasing it tonight. I'm gonna park it up by the shop. Boy, I am covered in dirt. Anyway, yeah, we're gonna I'll wait for it to dry down, and we'll grease it, and then I want to fix. There's some rusty spots on it, so. Wire brush it down and paint it, but it's an old baler. It's starting to show its age, but well, it's been a couple hours, about 4 hours. I've been washing the equipment. I've got the mower, the rake, the baler all done. They've been greased and serviced. The tractor is next, but I want to take a break for a minute, so there's a turkey out there. Gonna take a break and go down and check on the cows. We've got a couple that are close to calving. Say close, it's, I don't know, they could be within the next 3 or 4 weeks, but anyway, it's a good time to take a break, and thought I'd tell you a little bit about our equipment and what we run and what we, or why we run it. So over the years, we've bought a lot of used equipment, and we've never had much luck with it. But we make do. New stuff is expensive, and yeah, so you make do with what you can afford until you can afford something better, like a newer piece of equipment. But I don't know, I just seem to always pick the worst piece of equipment. I'll buy something that looks good, used tractor or hay rake, whatever it might be, and it soon breaks. But I can fix it, and I usually have to. Well, I always have to, but yeah, it's used stuff has never been very reliable for us or helpful, but it gets you through until you can afford something better. So you do what you can. So our first new piece of equipment that we bought was in 2007. We were milking cows and milking, I think we just started shipping organic on the truck. And we bought a brand new John Deere tractor, which we still have. That was 16 years ago. And it was, I think it was a, boy, that sun is terrible, huh? Try that maybe. Yeah, it was $25,000 at the time. Maybe 23, I think. Which we thought was a ton of money at the time. But boy, I'd really like to be able to buy that tractor brand new for 25 now. But they are a lot more money than that. So that was our first new purchase. And then we kind of made do with used. Some of it was really used equipment for a long time. So when we moved to Maine in 2010, we had an auction out. We had a farm in upstate New York, so we sold off most of our equipment. We kept the John Deere, because it was sold off everything else at the auction, thinking we could buy other equipment here in Maine when we moved here, and it wasn't the easiest thing to find. There's not as many used equipment dealers around in Maine. But after we moved to Maine, our first major purchase for farm equipment was I bought a new mower, a 3-point hitch mower. It's a New Holland mower, and that is now 13 years old. Bought that in 2010, and still going strong. We try and take care of it, but it's getting old, but it works just fine, and I hope it works for a long time to come. We've made do with hay rakes over the years, some side delivery rakes. We've had really terrible ones, and then we've kind of sold them and traded up into less terrible and kind of worked our way up. And finally, I think it was 2 years ago, we bought that Kuhn rake, which absolutely love it. Rotary rake. That was a great investment. So really happy with that. So right after we moved, we had we purchased that new mower, New Holland mower, but I needed a baler. And balers they were then and still are, incredibly expensive, round balers. So at the time, our neighbor, Bunny, he was a retired dairy farmer. I think he was probably in his mid-70s at the time. Had retired, had all his equipment still, sold his cows, but he was looking to get out of haying. He did some custom work. In fact, I think he even did a little bit for us at one point. But he was looking to sell his baler, but it was used. And it was almost 20 years old when I bought it back in 2010. Yeah, 2010. And was a little worried about that. So when I went to see Bunny, he came by one day and mentioned that he had that baler for sale, and knew I was looking for one. Told me it was in really good shape and how much he wanted for it. I think it was $10,000 at the time, but $10,000 was a lot to come up with at one time then. So he told me he would take payments for it. So he said, come look at it. He said it was a great baler. He swore up and down that there was no problems with it and it would run good, which it did, and still is. but it is getting old though. It's now, I've had it 13 years and it was probably 20, so 33-year-old baler. But it's still working, so. Well, everybody looks happy. Don't see any calves, so that's a good thing right now. Of course, Foolish has to come over and say hi. What do you think, girl? Huh? What do you think, girl? So when I went to see Bunny about the baler, he showed me how it worked, and it was in good shape and had all the manuals. He had bought it brand new back in the 90s at some point. And I told him I liked it a lot, but I still didn't have the money, and I'd have to go to the bank and see what they do. And he said I didn't have to bother going to the bank. He said he would take payments for it, and which I was kind of surprised, but I was happy that he would. It saved me a little bit of trouble trying to beg for money from the bank. But anyway, he said I just had to approve it with his, I think he said at the time, his credit department or the boss, or I can't remember exactly how he said it, but he told me that I had to get it approved from, which was his wife. She was or she still is, little tiny French Canadian lady, talks with a really thick accent. But I went in the house and he said, told her that I wanted to buy the baler, and she said okay. She says, well, how much can you pay a month? She says, make sure it's whatever you can afford. So I set the payments, and in the period of time I would pay her back in. And she told me to look her in the eye, tell her that I would pay her back, promise that I would pay her back. And I thought I did, and I looked at her and told her, and she said, no, look me in the eye and tell me. And I did, and she says, okay. Then she turns to Bunny and says, he'll pay us back. And that was that. I bought a baler and made sure that I made every single payment on time, if not early. And we went on to actually pay it off early before it was the end of the loan. But it was a big help. And yeah, but that was the one and only piece of used equipment I've ever had any luck with. So everything else I buy usually turns out to be not very good, to say the least. That would be kind. Most of it's just junk. But that was the one piece. So that baler's getting old now. Every year we have to do more and more work to it to just keep it going. It's getting kind of rusty, but price of a new baler is, well, last time I checked a few years ago, it was about $36,000 for that same baler. And yeah, that's a lot of money. So we keep this one going. I keep it going as long as I can. Hopefully we'll get another few years out of it, but it is getting old. But could buy a used one, but I don't think I'll ever have the same luck that I had getting that one. Being able to buy something decent. All right, well, I've been cleaning the tractor a little bit off the camera. Didn't bother videoing it. Videoed a lot of stuff getting cleaned today, so I didn't really think it was need to see one more thing get washed. But it's not perfect, but got most of the mud off it. Tomorrow I'll give it a better cleaning. That's Ferguson down there. So anyway, tomorrow we'll get a better cleaning with some soap. Today it was just water. But and then tomorrow hopefully I'll get that round baler. We'll sand that up a little bit, fix the rusty spots, grease it up, and then that'll be completely done too. So But anyway, that'll do it for today. Thanks for watching. And if you want to see more of what's going on around the farm, or, you know, see this equipment actually put to work, not just cleaned, don't forget to like and subscribe. And we'll see you next time.